I am not wearing a V-neck right now, and there are only 2 genders. Let's go June. As you can see here, things are not what I told you. The colors are different, you know, the year is different. There's a lot of things that have changed, and I told you guys in the last video, I think, that there are some big changes coming to this build, and here they are. We were gonna use that 1980 blue and silver body on the 79 frame, so I'm 4 bodies into this build already. I actually prayed on a Thursday night. I said, Lord, I would really like to get a white and bright 2-tone round eye color scheme for this build because I just do not like the blue and silver. And that night this truck came up for sale, and it's actually in fairly good condition. Put it all together, I got the body on yesterday. So let's jump right into it. I'm not gonna lie, this Bad Ricky is looking crispy. The brake lines all worked really good. I painted the firewall, fixed some stuff on there. I deleted the AC, and you probably wouldn't even notice because I filled in the box there with Bondo and sanded it down and painted it, so we'll clean that all up. The intake horn here is looking really good, and if you want one, my buddy can make you one and send it to you. I ended up actually taking off the engine push rod cover, took off the injection pump and all that, and did that seal because I just do not want this thing to leak. She is a crispy looking unit. We cannot be having leaks if we can help it, you know what I mean? Because these things do leak, but I've replaced every other seal except the oil cooler cover, which is an easy one to change if I have to. But I figured I should do all that before I got the engine in. I'm running 2-ply passenger tires on these things because I wanted this thing to be as low as possible, and as you can see, it is sitting very low, and these tires are pretty much to their max. This is what it did look like. Maybe you can kind of see that there. And this is what it shines up into. We got all the trim off of the other truck, and let me tell you guys something. If you are going to be pulling the trim off of a truck, take the time and do it right, because if you don't do it right and you wreck all the clips, you will be really mad about it. I've still got to wire in these lights here. You know, these rims are just looking good, and everything's sitting real nice and fat, so I'm super excited about that. We've got the seat here. It's all buckskin, and it's in, as you can see, extremely nice condition. Now the engine here, if you look here, this is with the Summit motor mounts. We have 2 inches of clearance between the manifold and the firewall, and there's not a ton, but there is a bit of clearance between the bell housing and all that. Got our radiator in, we got the grill in, and I have the bumper sitting outside. It's coming along. Honestly guys, if you do not wreck your factory wiring harness before you pull it all out, it is an easy 1-day project. Do not wreck or rip out your factory wiring harness.
You're not that guy, pal, trust me. You're not that guy.
When you're pulling your small block or your big block out, because honestly you don't have to, and you can make it look all factory and everything will work very nice. Very easy, so just do not rip out all your stuff. Now on the inside here is a very important part, and that is the 4-wheel drive conversion hump. Now if you're swapping a 2-wheel drive truck, which is probably the case, you need to get a 4x4 hump or custom make your own. So this is a 4x4 hump out of a Squarebody, so it unbolts out of the 4x4, and I put it in here, and then I modified everything to make it fit because the drive shaft yoke actually hit the floor. So I just weather sealed all of that, and we're gonna maybe give it another spray or something tomorrow, paint it all, and that will be done. And then we're gonna be putting brand new carpet in here. You can see here, like, look at this. Everything is just looks literally brand new. FM radio, 75, super cool. Got the clutch pedal in. This is the most annoying part of the whole job.
Got work to do. You keep on bothering me.
But let me tell you guys, when you're doing this, pull out your entire steering column right out. Use a factory Chevy clutch pedal. Mechanical or hydraulic, doesn't really matter. You can make either of them work. It bolts right in, and we'll see if I can get in there and show you guys how it looks. So you can see there's the push rod into the master clutch cylinder. And I made my own bracket, and there's lots of different ways to do this, but I'll show you guys on the firewall side where you want to go through. But you will see on your firewall a rib that goes like this. Now right at this corner there's a hole, and that's where you want your push rod to go through, and there's a few ways to do that, but you'll notice on the master cylinder there is a hex, and that is how it locks into place. So what I did here, and there's lots of different ways to do this. In the firewall, I cut that hex so I can spin the master cylinder in. I did that, and then I built a fork that goes over, holds it to the firewall, and then I reinforce it on the inside to make it extra strong, and that thing is not going anywhere. There's lots of different ways to do that, and you'll have to cross that bridge when you get there. What I did for mounting the reservoir here, oh man, the thing is dusty, is I actually snipped it all off, snipped it everything, and I strapped it right to the master cylinder there. So there's not really any other way to do it without it looking like absolute junk. So that's what I did. If you have any questions, if you see something you're like, how did he do that, or what should I do, leave a comment. I will get back to you and I will let you know. One other thing is you can use the factory speedo cable on the get drags and the get drags with the 205s because they have the mechanical output, and your factory Chevy cable will go into that. So don't go snipping your speedo cable on your Chevy until you've checked that, because that's what I'm gonna do with this, and the speedo is gonna work really good. I'm really excited about that. All the factory gauges are gonna work. Lots of guys put their temp sensor in right here, but let me tell you a secret. The best way is to put it back here, because then it's hidden. Remember, your truck will be worth more if people open the hood and it looks like there's no wiring hanging. I see guys on Kijiji all the time posting up their Cummins swaps, and multiple times I've seen this, but they don't post an engine bay pic because they're quite frankly ashamed of how it looks, and they know that it's hacked. So take the time to make it look nice, and just a can of spray paint goes a long way, just painting things to make it look nice. I put new inner fenders in here as well while I was there. I decided to go with vacuum brakes instead of Hydro Boost because it just makes things easier, and I have a vacuum pump right on the side of the engine here. That was on a 1-ton truck, so it'll be fine for what I'm doing. Now I mixed two hoses. I mixed the Chevy hoses and the Chevy hose and the Dodge hose to make one hose, and then obviously the return line doesn't need any high pressure fittings, so that's just a return line with some band clamps. But you can see what I did there. You can see the pressure line. I just mixed the two, and it looks really good, and it'll work great, I'm sure. The brake lines here were not meant for Hydro Boost, so I rolled them up real nice and put them to the vacuum booster and the vacuum master cylinder. So that turned out good. Lots of people will tell you that the 4-inch downpipe will not clear with the AC box, and they don't know what they're talking about because it clears very well. You just have to make sure everything's good. If you have the ability, and if you have a bunch of guys kicking around, pull the cab off, pull the box off, do all the work, and then put the cab on. When we put this one on, everything fit perfectly. If you use the Summit Racing motor mounts and make sure the engine is sitting level, maybe just a slight bit slanted back, but take the cab off, guys. It takes about 1 hour to get these cabs off, and it makes your job so much easier. And remember, do it right. Don't make it look greasy, because no one will actually appreciate it. They'll pop the hood and they'll be like, oh, that looks cool, when in reality they're just looking at a big rat's nest, and they know it and you know it. So do it right. So that's the truck for now. It's looking good. I'm really excited, and I hope you guys are too. So subscribe, like, comment, all that, ask some questions, and we'll see you in the next video. I just put some fatties on Crunchy here, some big drag slicks. We're gonna run these for the summer. Are they street legal? No. Are we gonna get caught? Probably not, so we're just gonna rip them. Hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, leave a comment and I will get back to you. See ya.